Solicitor Mick Paul along with Total Span Buildings. Here we are. Oh, good start by Richie. Much better start on the 600. You wouldn't think that he was missing 400cc on the bikes next door to him. Those other boys not his way to a good a start. He was literally laying it. You'd almost call it planking the way he was sitting on the bike. He was well, having it his front right over that fairing and having his leg out to the back as well. So he was really had a little I suppose you'd almost call him a tiny specimen, the pea, the bean, and the lightweight pilot, the jockey, right into his own. Look at that, going out there to the front and oh so quickly as well. Checking it out there, of course, with the super sharp Mr. Tony Rees in second, so they're the same order as they've got off the line at the moment. Richie Dibbin over Tony Rees from James Hugenbosom. Here we are to mix them up, two Suzukis and a Honda in the middle. James Hugenbosom on the big 1000, got it last time. Will he be able to do it again? Well, we're about to find out. And our creme de la creme F1F2 racing after this, folks. So for those that do want to get away, you can do it. It's the classics after this. But if you come to see the big boys perform in New Zealand racing, these are three of our stars for sure on the New Zealand road race scene. And here we go, Richie Dibbin, Tony Rees from James Hugenbosom, and Tony with the advantage on the big Honda, and he's gone through to first place, and then look out to James in there for the third, bunching right up now. Look, in fact, at Richie Dibbin, he wants to have a go and give a nudge here to get him around on his right hand shoulder and go around the outside on the first turn. Can he get through? No, won't be able to. So still with Tony in a much better run. Will we watch for James Hugie? Is James going to try and take the advantage? And there's Richie right on the shoulder to have a run through, of course, with the support while they're here in Southland of Southern Suzuki. So Richie Dibbin loving every bit of this kind of racing as he's going for it at the moment. Man, oh man, URC 600 guys, they will take every opportunity to mix it up there with the best of New Zealand superbikes. They love the challenge. They're up for it every time, no matter what the racetrack in New Zealand. Go back to the Suzuki era of somebody like Craig Shearis, one of my heroes of New Zealand superbike road racing. On the 600, of course, he was the outright winner, won the Robert Holden over 1,000cc bikes. One of the very rare pilots to have done it in New Zealand. So bring it on with the 600s, mixing it up with the 1,000 boys. Look at the three of them going for it. Rees up there now for James Hugie. That's where the 600 misses out. And James Hugenbosom has moved up into second place. We recall last time that James was able to get past Tony. Now we're going to see a real race. It's Tony out in front this time. The legend himself, Mr. Tony Rees, inducted into the New Zealand Motorcycling Hall of Fame. Doesn't get much better than that. There's very few other still active motorcyclists. Only probably Aaron Slight, the other one that I can think of that's there in that Hall of Fame as well. As we go through the famous Castrol corner here down to Macaulay Ford S's. And here we go. James Hugenbosom out after Tony Rees this time. Tony, of course, on the Damon Rees bike that he rode for the International Series. That's got the carbon fibre fairings on it, so got the $6,000 rumoured to be cost of that kit. So that made a real difference for Demon Damo over the Suzuki Series. Now Super Dad Tony using it and making a special trip down here to the beautiful BMC BurtMunro Challenge for another great year. Mr. Tony Rees politely now nudged his 50th birthday. Had that party a couple of years ago. Oh, look at them side by side. James looking for the run up on the inside. The Suzuki going for it, as he did last time in Eclipse, and Tony tries to hold him out, but it is James Hugenbosom, beautiful to watch. Oh, James through there, and look, it's literally allowed him to catapult out of the corner and go round through the curve. He has held on to that magnificently, so going for it. Quite often in a case when you go into a corner last like that, you can sometimes have to slow up more because you've got to hit the brakes. You're going in faster than your competitors, but no, he's allowed it to keep that momentum and keep going. He's pulled out to another 3 bike lengths, and look out, Tony, because Richie Dibbin right on your shoulder, hanging with them on that little Suzuki 600. Bring it home on the Dibbin Swartz Motorcycle Suzuki GSXR 600 up against the Mega Motorcycle Centre. Metzger Builders supported the Suzuki 1000 out in front between them, the Tony Rees Motorcycles Honda 1000. So a hot rocking charge here going on for the bike action, and looking out there at the moment. James over Tony, and looking out for the update, and there we go. So there's James still in front, James, Tony and Richie to go for it. Has anybody cracked? No, it's still 100. It got down to 101 last time, James Hugie. It's now 100.3, so it's actually, 2/10 off the time set in the last one. Nobody cracking the magic 100 or 1 minute mark. Of course, here on a good day for New Zealand Superbikes, you're likely to see some 59s or even 58s, but here today, these boys not having to lay their body on the line, and why should you? You don't need to. James Hugenbosom to go for it. Now, while all this has been going on, we're probably not doing the credit to Seth Devereaux out there, as Seth again hangs on to that 4th place. And here he goes, and look at that with Jay Lawrence on his shoulder. Wow, Seth has not got his own way, but he would still be in 2nd place. Jay effectively is on a Formula 1 bike. Right, so around 4 laps of the race to run at this stage as we're counting them down, counting them back. It is James, Tony and Richie as they go for it. There's James Hugenbosom. Oh, Richie had a nudge. He was there. He had the advantage. So Richie had it, but Tony's just got it back. So Tony to get it. There we are with Seth. There's Seth Devereaux. That's better from Seth. Seth Devereaux there. Had said before that he was there with Jay, but in fact at this stage Jay's a little way off him, so it's Jay Lawrence to hang with him as we then go back to Aaron Scott. What a day he's having, and John Crawford up there, and keen to look out for John's excellence. Of course, we go in John's case to the F2 lineup in there. He's on the 600 as well, and as I look down, no, not in our program, but we certainly know the Southern Suzuki man, and looking to third place with the F2. Yeah, good work for the local, good work indeed. Third place for the local. So that's a great result. Let's go to the F2 again. So Richie, Seth and John. John there in 7th place, the moment behind Aaron Scott, in front of people like Warren Hudson and Jaden Scott. So good work for John Crawford on that Southern Suzuki, supported GSXR 600. Beautifully presented bike. Always love the way that John does his bikes. There goes Seth, remembering second in our Formula 2. And keen to look out for this next race place update. There's Jay Lawrence. Looking good. What are the boys doing out in front? James, Tony, the advantage now, 2 seconds. Then looking at super close in that bike fight. You wouldn't think that these guys are really going to say that it doesn't matter, because one's on an F2, one's on a F1 bike. It doesn't matter who finishes in what order, whatever order they're in, that'll be applicable to their own class. So there we go. But hey, it's a race, and when it's a race, it's all on, and man, are they putting it all on. So the Richie Tony show, all on for the glory at the moment. James Hugenbosom, what a rabbit out of the hat he has pulled here with an exceptional performance. Well done to the Ken Tab fighter, and he's proved to be the fastest man here today so far. Did it in the previous race, doing it in this one as well with that 151, and there he goes. White flag as well for one to go. No, still no change to the time, so it's still that better lap earlier at 100.358. So nice work from James Hugenbosom to go for the glory. Second place still there with Tony. That's the F2. Richie up now. Sorry, Richie up there in the F2. My apologies, so much excitement about life. I've just felt that James was putting in that lap. Is he going to go for it on the last lap? Does he want to crack that record? How's he going? No, Tony's got him back. There they are down through there, Tony and Richie. So nothing between them when they came past before. It had flipped the other way around. How many times has it changed during the race? Got to be 4, isn't it? Easily 4 times. Fantastic to watch them going for it. So an F1 and F2, and a great effort by John Crawford, the local man, of course, to be buzzing in that third place for the F2 lineup. But it's a fight going on there, and we're going to look to see whether James can do that electrifying lap. Has he been able to crack the record? Can he beat his own time? And there we go, super quick, super fast. But look out there it is. Tony gets the second, Richie gets the third. Remembering it didn't matter whichever order they finished in, they were still respective for their class. And we're looking out for Super Seth here on the Joe's Garage, supported Heat Miser, Team Helicraft, supported so my apologies, MV Augusta, and now keen to look out for there's Jay to come through. Jay. Now we're going to go to Aaron and John, and yes, John gets in there as well. The other one was a lapper, and there, so it showed up as 1 lap less, wasn't to be counted with the other riders. And what that means is that our John still gets the F3 ahead of Jaden Scott, but Aaron Scott up there to get the fourth place in our F1 lineup today. Courtesy of Top Cars and Commercial, Clyde Street, right here in Invercargill. Exactly as the business says, Top Cars, and they always are from John. He stands behind his cars. That's the difference. You know when you're buying from John, a trusted man, been around the automotive scene for many years, and you know you're getting a goodie. Plus, many of the models are a minimum $2,000 trade. In other words, you find a wreck that's drivable, you turn up there, he's going to give you $2,000 for the car that may be worth $500, but the car that you're buying, you've just saved that kind of money on. So $2,000 minimum trade-in. Not always the case, so please check for the fine print, but you get the idea. Trusted name in the automotive used car and commercial world, Mr. John Beck. The other thing with John too, you know you trust him, and you're thinking, yeah, I've seen one of those Nissan Muranos around, or you've seen a a Jeep Cherokee or something, well, he's be the man to be able to find you those cars, whether they be in New Zealand or overseas on international sales sites. He'll be able to get it for you as well. So it's almost like your supermarket of shopping. Check it out, Top Cars and Commercials. Brilliante to see. All right, just one race to go today, folks. One race to go. It is 9 minutes to 3. We're going to come back at you with a classic lineup shortly. We think there's probably a little bit of pressure on to allow some people to get out as they may be heading round towards Speedway. So we're not sure whether we'll be opening the track or finishing our day with the last class, whatever the result.